The biggest breakthrough you can have to heal any past traumas in your life, any pain, any suffering, is realizing that not only did things happen for you, consciousness happened through you. Because you'll never be able to connect the dots looking forward or where you are or during the pain and the suffering. You can only choose to look back and connect the dots and realize why this happened. How did I benefit from it? And it's a choice. You can either stay in the sorrow, the pain, the struggle, or you can avoid it and not do the inner work. However, in order to heal it, is realizing and giving it a new meaning, forgiving it, to forgive, give a new meaning that in somewhat way, shape, or form, this did benefit you. And through that, you can show gratitude. Because now you experience contrast, a contrasting event that showed you don't want to be this way. And believe me, if anybody did anything to you, doesn't make anything they did right. It's your opportunity to move into the most powerful vibration available to us, and that is unconditional love. And that's why your very conditional boundaries are placed. That's why they'll never be in your physical reality again. And you won't allow that kind of contrast because you now know what you prefer, right? You ever been there? I've been there multiple times where people, I know I've shown up my best and I've given. And I used to be a people pleaser. So I would give and do things and seek validation and approval, which in a way is slightly manipulative. It is. However, it wasn't recognized because I had a worthiness wound. And I had people take advantage of me and then paint me as the bad one. After I started pulling my energy away, I started shifting and I started evolving and they didn't like the version of me that I really am, that I'm evolving into. They didn't like me for me. They liked me for what I offered them. Right? So sometimes in life you're going to experience stuff like that. Why? Because it was a gateway opening for me to realize I no longer will suppress my fullest expression of self. I will no longer fear showing up as who I am because it's painful. What's more painful than people not liking you is people liking a fake version of you. So, welcome to another coffee session with me, Ventzi, your divine feminine empowerment and spiritual awakening coach. And I'm here to move you from fear and blocks and reasons on why you can't live to your fullest expression of self to the freedom of doing so. Cultivate deep and meaningful relationships, romantic and non-romantic, with others. From fog to clarity, from trauma to transcendence, while I support you falling completely in love with your life. And just like all good coaches, we're going to have some coffee. I'm going to tell you how it is. And I'm going to be here to give you that little shove so you can fall in love with yourself. All right, let's get it. So this video, I am going to go over some of the greatest healing modalities. There are a couple of techniques like Ho'oponopono. That one's really good. However, this is the real awakening for you and a remembrance. For all of you already on the spiritual journey, this is a reminder. Because it's so easy to get caught up and realize that we are human. And we didn't just go through the veil of amnesia once. We didn't just go through the curtain once. Like, it's always on. Your body is literally the curtain. It's so easy to remember that you're only human, right? No matter how many breakthroughs and realizations that you get, that you are an eternal spiritual being having this human experience. So, number one is realizing everything that has ever happened has always happened for you. I'm not even going to say that's happened to you. It's happened for you. It's opened a door, an opportunity, because as a higher density being, as as even source, you wanted to reach the level of a higher vibration. And the only way you can do that is to move from the lower ones and learn how to alchemize the energy to a higher one. And unconditional means without the condition needing to change, you can stay within this vibration because you know you're a true divine spiritual being that's eternal. Okay? And I'm not here to create some religious uproar for any of you who are new to spiritual awakening or, the purple monkey dishwasher in the sky, God, source, creator, whatever. The only thing you need to realize is there's all that is. And the thing that we look at as the God, source, creator in the sky, they're all that is. They're everything. Right? So imagine that for a second. This is actually the technique I wanted to go over. Imagine that for just 1 second. Like, imagine being all that is, right? The question comes up is like, where does it end? Where's the ending? Is source, this purple monkey dishwasher in the sky, just getting bigger and expanding and evolving and it's endless? Is the universe, if we think about space, the cosmos, is it expanding? I was watching something on a documentary, and scientists and whatnot, they think either it has a parameter or it's expanding and growing and it's infinite. So infinite means, how does infinite look like? Is it just infinitely infinite and they can't like find the parameter, or is it expanding to create infinity? It's kind of, oh, that's interesting. So I was just thinking like infinite and infinity, because like, as a human here, we're essentially an infant to what is available, and we get to forget who we are to remember who we are, so that way we can expand. Because this is the point I'm making, is imagine this, and let me know if you're with me on it. If you are all that is, and you have a parameter, and you know you're growing and expanding, or maybe there is a parameter and you're all that is at all times, it's going to be very claustrophobic. Like you're this and everything, and it's like, you don't even know what's on the unknown. You don't even know what's on the other side. Where is the other side? Like, you might actually be searching for an answer for more, right? It gets scary. It's like you start wondering, like, even right now in this very moment, like in your life, and this is all that is, it's like, we're lucky that we have this vast variety on human earth to do and expand and explore and not be confined to a box, right? And a lot of people like to confine themselves to a box because it's comfortable. So let's do this exercise. I know I kind of took you through a little loop. Let me know if you follow me on this. So, and I did watch a Bashar video yesterday. It was like a quick reel, and it just kind of solidified some of this stuff. So what I want you to do, and we'll get to the healing, because this will give you the answer to the healing. And once I realize this, which really, as I've known it, it's more of really integrating it, because you may not know who you really are just yet. We may know that we're fragments of the divine and source, yet we still exclude ourselves from it. So this is going to help you awaken that you are a part of all that is. So look around the room. Go ahead. Look, like right here I have a painting, right? I'm going to do this with you actually. I'm looking, right? There's stuff here. Now, think of the universe and the stars, and just think of outer space and the pictures you've seen from NASA and whatnot. Think of other universes, right? And and think about how vast and how big it is, right? How big it is. How much space there is in space. And close your eyes for a second, right? And keep thinking about how big it is and how like the opportunities are there for endless possibilities. And just the fact that something so complex like human life exists. Think about it. Your human life. Think about everything you've experienced up until now, up until this point, all the emotions, all the complexities of different relationships, maybe abuse, trauma, and joy and happiness, like the scale of things that you're able to actually experience, even the moments that you get to create something. Maybe you produced EDM, maybe you made art, maybe, we have palettes of art colors. It's we have so much available to us. How complex. From every day-to-day depression or joy and happiness, healing, being able to go to retreats, restaurants, just even think about the dishes you can make, right? That's how complex we are. Science, hydrogen colliders, like there's so much. So the question comes up, I don't know, I kind of elongated that. I really just wanted to make sure that I really wanted to have that be a huge part in this process. So then look around you and look at everything on the walls. Look at it. Like, this is creation, creation, creation. Somebody created this border, somebody created this, that. Like somebody took the time to make these things and design them, right? So God has never made a chair. God has, or Purple Monkey Dishwasher in the Sky or Source, they've never made a chair. Technically, they have. And you know what, though? They gave us the tools, though, to make the chair ourselves. They created all the things and tools and parts and resources for us to create and expand and explore. Exploration is the biggest realization here. So exploring is the key, with exploring with unconditional curiosity into your world. How does this incorporate into healing? Because anything that you ever experience is a resource, a tool. It's specific guidelines on contrast to show you what you prefer in your reality, or specific instructions on how for you to get better in your life and choose and make decisions towards a better version of yourself that you want to be, rather than sitting around and moping and hoping that someone's going to come save you when you're the savior, you're the creator. You get to use the resources that are in front of you and start chiseling out the life that you want. Start chiseling out the healing that you want. So what does that mean? What does that look like? It means you stay consistent and you keep feeding yourself information and programs that are, and watching videos like this, watching stuff that will continuously keep expanding you to the version that you want to be. Like, why are you going to be playing League of Legends when you want to start a company? How is that teaching you anything about business? I mean, you can kind of, backdoor it and look around and gain some information about how to create a game if that's what you want, right? How to run it. You can look at like how you can purchase RP. You can look at different systems. However, why do that when you can learn how to make it on YouTube? Just look up videos. Go to school for it. Like whatever's going to give you information to heal, or maybe start seeing a psychologist or a therapist. You get what I'm saying? Stay consistent in the programming that you're having with unconditional curiosity, because that's going to be the key to moving forward. And curiosity didn't kill the cat, by the way. That's a limiting belief. That's a scary belief people have placed as a wall to block people and create fear. It's an illusion, because that cat is an eternal spiritual being, right? So let's go back to this creation, creation, creation. I know these coffee sessions, we really get off the rails. The point is like, you were created in Source, God, Purple Monkey Dishwasher's image. You were created. So the fact that you exist There's no mistake. Don't you think that creator probably wanted to experience and a relief of not remembering all the power that they have access to? They wanted to, leave the game with cheat codes and created a reality where you get to be human and experience this complexity. It's freedom. And you get to explore and expand as individual fragments of yourself because you're me and I'm you. Just having individual experiences. We're all from the same place. We just fragment down. And it does get a little more fragmented. And here's the thing that I picked up from Bashar is, one, even if you're just an aspect, doesn't matter because your source and you created this to experience this with limitations. Well, that part I wrote. So to get away from all that is, to get away from that possible parameter of constantly expanding, like you don't want to be stuck because then it's like anxiety. At least it brings me anxiety, being all that is and having access to everything at once. Like it's like having your favorite meals that you're gonna have or the rest of the food you're gonna eat in your life all at once. Like, whoa, slow down. Like I'm not, I want to enjoy this pizza. I want to enjoy this takoyaki. Like sushi dates. Like I want to enjoy it, and that's why time is so precious because it allows us to enjoy things and not instant manifestation. We came for the manifesting. So as you get away from all that is, it's so easy to fall back into you're just a human. The just you're the ju- that you're just a human trap. It's so easy to fall back into the you're just a human trap. And that's how it was designed because the challenges are the failsafe for you to forget again. And it's a relief. And you get to explore as whatever character you choose to be during these challenges, during the trauma. It allows you to forget. Because even if you remember that you created this and you're experiencing your reality as a source, divine being, right? And you literally this is you. Your consciousness is that. You just decided to forget some things of how powerful you really are so you can experience a new life. So you can experience something new in a new way, whether if it is created in this world. You still get to, like, imagine when you're done here and you lived a full life, you can literally choose to relive your life and take different directions, parallel realities. Like, you can shift, right? Or maybe you want to reincarnate as a different being and try on a whole new life, new set of parents. You're going to sign a new agreement and contract with yourself that you created, that you want to experience other things. Either way, this human experience is so dense, we get to experience such lower vibrational feelings and emotions that it allows us to actually move towards unconditional love every time we're born here. It allows us to make better choices that feel good. Because a lot of times we get stuck in resentment and the pain and we think it all happened to us and we become sometimes cold. Like, and that's like you get one bad breakup or you're younger and like 18 and 19 and my little brother experienced this. He had this girl he was dating. She was a little wild and I've been through it too myself. However, he after they broke up and after he realized and he did his best and she was lying to him and doing all sorts of, just making stuff up. And I was like telling him, like giving him the answers because I've been through it. Like, this isn't a good relationship. He still loved her and he was still clinging on to whatever attachment he had. Either way, though, after that was finally done and she started like seeing somebody else and was flaunting about it and then also got done with that guy and tried to go back to my little brother for whatever, reasons she wanted. My little brother, if I told him like you can't keep going back to that. You're gonna keep going through the same circus. However, now, when I don't know, he's struggling still. He's still battling some of these demons because he was betrayed, lack of trust. The person he thought that loved him showed him that, well, you're not lovable, basically. Now he believes that. I mean, he hasn't been able to open up to me about like what it really is. However, I know what wounds he's going through. And his reply was after they broke up, this is like last year, he's like, it's a cold world, so you got to be colder. And I can see how much he's changed. He's just way more cut off from his emotions, way like he's trying to protect himself, like he built this barrier. Instead of realizing how grateful that experience could be, like, thank you so much. Because all the times I've had dumpster fire relationships led me to this. Yeah, it may have taken, 6 years to finally decide, like, I need to start doing inner work. I need to start evolving because I can't keep living this way, right? And through it, I started being able to go through it and realize I can connect the dots. And why did it happen? Because I get to heal from it. Because I don't want to trauma bond with my friends and be like, oh yeah, boo-hoo, this person did this to me. Yeah, I got to experience something with them. Didn't work out. Part of being human. Most importantly, I now know the preferences that I want. Now I get to look at the aspects of me where I was a people pleaser and, emotionally serving empath to somebody that I was dating that was a narcissist who took advantage of me. And I fell into it because I had some worthiness wounds, abundance wounds, and whatever I was lacking, they made up for it. And it was this codependent cycle, right? And then you get to look at all these things and be like, I want more freedom in my relationships. So what is it going to take for me to take this step? And based off of this experience, this contrast, I'm grateful for. Because now I can be a more refined version of myself, and I can still give this person unconditional love. I don't want anything bad to happen to the people that ever did anything for bad to me. I set my I set my very conditional boundaries so that way they don't ever bother me again physically, right? However, now I know how I want to show up in this world and what I deserve. And I can look at these red flags a lot sooner. I can see them sooner. I don't have to worry as much because I can feel safe within myself. And that took a lot of work. All right. So you got to start somewhere. Except the greatest healing modality is realizing that you can be grateful for the experience. And when you can do that, when you can truly be okay with it without thinking about that person or that experience and like without it bringing up anger or resentment and a reaction of your emotions, that's when you know you're healing. That's when you know you've healed, because it wasn't right away for me. It was still like, but eventually that ball of energy that was in my heart that felt hurt and betrayed and the struggle, right? It started lessening and lessening, and I started realizing, well, without that, I would have never had this type of awakening. I would have never moved this so far into my life of joy and happiness and being okay with things, right? Because you're all here for the experience. So here's the thing from Bashar. You have 3 aspects. You have your physical mind, you have your higher mind, and then you have your soul, which overlooks both of these things. Okay, this is part of the connection. Here's your soul, and then you break down on the earth with your higher mind, your higher self, higher consciousness, and then you have your physical mind here, the body that doesn't remember anything. This is the veil. Your body is the curtain. When you wake up here, curtain is dropped. And your higher self, which is you, is experiencing all of this and knows what's happening, by the way. And your soul could essentially be experiencing a different human on Earth or an animal or a creature. You get to have multiple, that's why you're multidimensional. And you can meet with yourself, but you won't ever know that that's actually you. Not sure how the whole twin flame thing works, but essentially everybody is essentially a twin flame because you are you regardless, right? Except the twin flame, someone that you like, are like literally almost like a perfect match, right? Like experiencing like similarities, like so on point similarities. Anyway, that's another thing. I don't really know much about twin flames besides that. I don't even know why I'm going on that. Either way, your physical mind is here, higher mind is there, and you here are supposed to enjoy the journey of what's presented to you. Only look as far as your headlights of your car can see. don't worry so much about the other stuff. Anything that you think about that you want is already completed. It's 99.9 or 99.1% completed, coming from Abraham Hicks. It's just you get to let it happen, become a vibrational match to it, and then it becomes visible. Because your higher self is already orchestrating every single possible event for it to come into your life, whether if it's healing. Here's a video suggested on YouTube for the thing that you're experiencing in your physical mind. You get to choose. Maybe I click on it, or maybe I'm just going to go ahead and watch my silly anime videos or something. Not that they're silly, I love anime. You get to choose. That's part of the will. That's part of having free will, is you get to choose, do I want to do the inner work? Am I going to step through that fire even though it feels like it may hurt and burn, because I have to reopen, so I have to look at this wound and I have to, heal it. So you get to choose how you're going to keep moving in this life. And you have to give up the control, because if something shows up and you think it's supposed to happen a different way, you're trying to control it with your physical mind. Accept what shows up or what doesn't. Either way, make specific choices on, if you know you're going to go right and that's your destination, keep going that path, because that's the path you want to go, versus taking detours and doing things that you've been doing with bad habits that don't serve the version of you that you want to be, the healed version of you. I want to watch this video on inner healing, shadow work, higher self. I'm going to keep doing it until I can figure this out, right? So your higher self is always orchestrating events. It's your choice to go through it or not. They're going to keep showing up. And your soul, by the way, is an aspect of all that is. Your soul connects to source. Okay, so you're actually fragmented from source, so that way you can have more individual experiences. You're still a part of all that is, no matter what. Like, you still are the divine. You still are that. You're literally just choosing to come down here and experience your creation. Like, it doesn't get more simple than that. I know it's a lot to take in, and it's really difficult. Even for me, I struggle, because as soon as I go onto my day, it's easy to fall back into the human trap. Start having to associate with people that aren't really realizing this stuff. They're living their normal human lives, which is totally fine. And guess what? You're here for the human experience. I'm not trying to disconnect you from that. The only thing that I'm doing with this is helping you realize you are an eternal spiritual being. You are source. And you now get to enjoy life. All this pain and all this suffering is actually pleasant in a way. like it's all for you to grow and expand and create preferences and contrast. So that way you can know what you want to manifest. So that way when you decide, I want a better, healthy lover, your higher self is orchestrating all the events for you to do the inner work and put you on the path to finding someone that's going to match that. Because you want to keep dating some people that don't do the inner work, you're going to get a reflection of that. If you don't do the inner work and you just move from relationship to relationship and you're serving your codependency and your attachments, rather than taking a little bit of time and realizing, what do I really want? How do I want to be? What kind of relationship do I actually want? Right? And heal, so that way you can experience a reflection of a partner who's willing to do the same. So that way you can be on the same level. Healing. And guess what? The more you try to control, like, how things are supposed to happen, the more you're not surrendering to the control which you already have, which you already bring forth to the physical. That control is your higher self. You're actually your higher self controlling all of this. You just don't like that connection's like not severed. It's there, and they do physically give you the materialistic things physically, people, places, and things. They're always orchestrating the events for you. You just get to experience it without knowing that you created this orchestration. Like, here's a gift, who sent it to me? Well, you actually sent it to yourself. Right? So, I know this video gone a little off the rails. However, this is why this is the most greatest healing modality, is when you realize consciousness is happening through you. because you came here and you wanted to experience certain things, certain events, people, places, and things, whether if they hurt you, whether if they made you suffer. If you dated a narcissist, guess what you got to do? There's really no way to deal with a narcissist who doesn't want to do the inner work, who doesn't want to emotionally show up and be there for you, because they don't, like, they're wounded themselves, by the way, and they only think like they can only manipulate things, and that's how they're going to receive love. And as soon as they find someone who's an empath and loving and caring, that's really attractive to them, because they know how to tweak them, and they know that they're going to have someone that's going to idolize them. And anyway, I'm getting a little off the rails again. That's why you date them, so you can set boundaries. The only real way to deal with somebody who's narcissistic is to set boundaries. If, hey, I don't like this. This is how I feel when you do this. Don't ever say you make me feel this way, because you're giving your power away. You make me feel this way. Like, I'm putting the power in you so you can make me feel this. No, you choose how you feel at any given moment now that you realize you're a source creator. And you chose to experience this narcissist so you can learn how to set boundaries. Because guess what? You forgot how to set them when you reincarnated here. So you get to redo it again. Woo! The human experience. People are always trying to like separate themselves in spirituality and like not realize the human experience is as spiritual as it gets. Like, you're here to live in the present moment and just watch gracefully in happiness with joy, and choose a vibration you want to be in that feels good, and just watch things show up. That's why there's spiritual laws, law of attraction, law of reflection. What you put in is what you're going to get out. Karma plays a role too. Karma is just a synchronicity. It's literally the law of reflection. Karma is literally that. Like, you put in something, you're going to get that back. And it's showing you where you are in your vibration. It's a contrast point. Like, oh, you're getting something that you did bad to someone. Now it's coming back at you. It's an option saying, hey, do you still want to be this way? Or are you ready to shift? Because you do this is what you're going to keep getting. It's all about inner work and moving forward. Because believe me, people that do bad things, they're suffering. They're choosing not to shift. And they just keep having more bad things happen to them. Or even worse, they're suppressing their emotions, and it looks like it's a picture perfect life, and it's not. Everybody's going through stuff, and the point is to realize you're an eternal spiritual being, and you get to choose every single day with the decisions and actions and choices that you make. Which route do you want to go? How do you want to feel? That's why once you realize this, everything is a shadow play for you to choose. And the moment you choose you want to step to the fire, this new version of you, you're going to be presented with more options that represent that version of you. Some people need to associate working really hard and climbing up the corporate ladder to become financially successful. If that's what you believe is true, that's what's going to keep showing up. Because you're too afraid, maybe, and your ego keeps you safe, and that's what's comfortable, and that's what seems to be the thing, versus, I'm going to pivot, and I'm going to fuck around and find out. I'm going to take a risk. I'm going to leave this corporate job, and I'm going to figure out what it takes to start a business. I mean, I freaking did. I mean, I didn't leave my last corporate job. I actually got a divine storm happen where I got this concussion, and I had to take off work. And I had a part of that divine storm was more divine storm, where people, places, and things weren't in alignment, and things were just going crazy. And then, I got shifted and ejected from that reality to the reality that I want, because I was doing so much inner work. And then I got this concussion, which got me let go of the job I no longer wanted to be at, because I was not happy. Everybody knew it. Like, I was good at it. I could handle stuff, but I started reaching a point where I'm not happy. And like, it was time for me to go, but I wasn't the one that was going to give up. I wasn't the one that was going to part ways. So the universe gave me a cosmic baseball bat. This is what you need. And I decided this is plan B. I've done other jobs. I've had really good jobs. Personal training director for 4.5 years of my life, where I managed the sales teams. I was head of sales, personal trainer. Talked about the story a little bit more than often lately, right? However, as good of a job that is to help people, it wasn't fully in alignment with what I needed for me to feel like as I'm fulfilling my life and living to my life to the fullest potential of my fullest expression and what really fuels me inside. And there was no way in the world I was ever going to be able to become who I am today and share all these things and be able to do all this had I not experienced all the contrast, all the jobs I didn't want to work, that didn't feel in alignment, all the people in my life that may have betrayed me and made me suffer. Not made me suffer. They didn't made me suffer. Sorry. That was actually, I take that back. That was all on me because, again, consciousness happening through me, right? They created events where I chose to suffer in because I didn't know how to heal. However, I needed the contrasting experience for me to move forward. I don't even know why I said sorry. I'm not going to edit that part out. I'm human. I still make mistakes. Right? Because I'm here for the human experience. So I get to choose to show up more unapologetically and not say sorry now. Contrast, baby. That's a prime example of contrast, right? If it had not been for everything I've experienced, including that right there, which I just showed you what it's like to have a realization, because I'm like, sorry, not that they made me suffer. Yeah, I chose my suffering. And then I also chose to stop suffering. And then the universe provided to me resources for me to expand and grow and heal. And then the biggest thing I get to do is share it with all of you. Because watching YouTube videos like this help me out so much. So I get to share in my own unique light, voice, structure. I get to show up in a way that I love doing this. It's like coffee sessions are like my new favorite freaking thing, yo. Up until this point, I was not making, 25, 30-minute long videos. Now that I got a new camera, I got a new mic, I have to worry about storage on my phone. I get to just have more fun. So that's part of it. You get to expand as you grow. And 6 months ago, when I was starting all this, I was, I invested in a course and everything to help me like kind of figure out more structure and all of this. However, like I knew eventually I have to get a camera and a mic and all these things. I just didn't like I still didn't believe in myself to invest in this equipment. I could have done it sooner, right? However, I still had to go through the hurdles and show up and keep showing myself I am this version. I am committed to this version. I started, and as a part of the process, more resources come. More videos show up that I need as information to share, to solidify things and create more experience. Because everything's just an exploration. Everything you go on is a journey. And guess what? The people you're around, no matter who they are, no matter how bad they are, no matter how good they are, we're all just walking each other home. We're all walking each other to the end of this, and we all get to experience it together and explore it. All right. So let me know how this helps you in the comments. Like and subscribe. Hit that notification button so that way you're notified when more of my content does come out. And have a wonderful, magnificent, transformative, alchemizing day. Beautiful cosmic soul. Much love to you. Much unconditional love to you. Love and light vibration out. Bye.